Okay, so we just finished doing the switch ratio test on this car and verified that everything looks good, but I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate an oxygen storage capacity test on this vehicle also. That's where I'm going to add propane, I'm going to drive the sensors rich, and I'm going to take away the propane. I'm going to watch the front sensor drop, and my rear sensor should not drop. If it's working perfect, it'll stay up there in time for the front O2 sensors to start oscillating. If it does drop while the front's still lean, I want at least 2 seconds of oxygen storage. In a perfect world, I'd like to have about 15 to 20 seconds of oxygen storage. More storage is better. Remember, cerium is the component in the converter that's storing the oxygen. Cerium is the component in the converter that's being tested by my OBD2 system. So if I'm low on cerium, that's what sets the code. So even though this vehicle passed the switch ratio test with flying colors, I'm going to go ahead and try to do an oxygen storage capacity test on it with the propane so I can get a little better idea of what's going on with these converters and see if they're really functioning properly. And more importantly, since I have 2 banks, are they functioning the same? So to do this, I need to get access. In this case, I'm going to go to the purge solenoid. I like it because it's right by the throttle body and it's going to spread out evenly to all the cylinders. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. You can see I got a vacuum leak. Everybody went lean. I'm going to put this on, but because this is a speed density vehicle, I'm going to try to put it on slowly so as not to stall the vehicle. If I stall it, no big deal, we'll just start it back up. And it looks like I got lucky and I was able to get it back on. You saw where my sensors went rich. Now we're going to come back down and we should start oscillating. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some propane to get my front sensors rich. Let the fuel trim start trying to take away injector on time. Turn off the propane. Watch my front sensors go lean and see how long it takes for the rear sensors to go lean. So I'm going to hold the button down first and then slowly open the valve. And you can see the front sensors are going high. Keep adding more propane here. And I'm out of propane, and yet, yeah, there we go. We finally overcame my fuel trim. Everybody's up high. You can see how high the rear sensors have gone, how high the front sensors. I'm going to let go. We saw the front sensors drop. And which happens sometimes is by the time I get enough fuel trim in, the car stalls. So things don't always work how you want them. The big thing is I'm going to shut off the valve, clear out the port. Let's go ahead and start the car back up. Now be careful, if I let this car sit too long, I'm going to get expanding gas. I can actually blow up the intake where I might need to clean it out before starting. But we're going to be fine here. Start it up. One more time. Again, my fuel trims have adapted, so my injector on time is really small. That's why I'm running lean. So we'll get this thing here. Let fuel trim come back in. So this is one reason why I might want to monitor fuel trim when I do this. So let's see if I can come back in and reset my menu and look at fuel trim at the same time. So I come back into list view. I come into custom, and I've got those highlighted, and let's come down to the other, and I'm going to have to go over to the scan tool to move that. So I've selected some other kits that I hope will give me the information I want. If not, I'm going to have to go over to generic, and I'm going to click graph view. Now I've got 8 graphs going. I can see my O2 sensors. I can also see some fuel trim data, my long term and my short term. So I've got long term bank 1, long term bank 2, short term bank 1, short term bank 2, and then I've got my O2 sensors. Bank 1, sensor 2, bank 2, sensor 2, bank 1, sensor 1, bank 2, sensor 1. So this sensor is in front of this sensor is in front of this. So you see why I was only using the 4 PIDs to start. It's a little less confusing, a little easier to see. But this thing I can watch my fuel trim, and what I want to do is I want to go to negative 20% fuel trim and then shut off the propane. So let's see how that works for us. See my short-term adaptive moving. And you see how long-term is responding to it. And I just hit 20% and it stalled it. And normally 20% is enough that it won't cause the stall. Apparently here it will. So here I gotta wait for my fuel trims to come back. My O2 sensors go lean. We can see as my O2 sensors are lean, we're gonna see short-term fuel trim rise. As short-term fuel trim rises, long-term fuel trim also starts to rise to get short-term fuel trim back to a neutral setting. And there we go.